English songwriter and Pink Floyd co-founder Roger Waters has slammed Richard Branson's so-called Venezuela aid concert as part of the scheme to push for regime change in Venezuela.
It's 4 days until February the 22nd, which is the day when Richard Branson claims that he's going to put on a Live Aid-ish concert in Colombia near the border to raise humanitarian aid for the people of Venezuela. This came from a Daily Mail article, and I've just seen a video clip of Branson with his bleeding heart worn openly upon his Virgin Airways t-shirt. The important thing about this is that even if you listen to their shtick, it has nothing to do with humanitarian aid at all. It has to do with Richard Branson, and I'm not surprised by this, having bought the US saying, we have decided to take over Venezuela for whatever our reasons may be. But it has nothing to do with the needs of the Venezuelan people. It has nothing to do with democracy. It has nothing to do with freedom. And it has nothing to do with aid. I have friends who are in Caracas right now. There is so far no civil war, no mayhem, no murder, no apparent dictatorship, no mass imprisonment of opposition, no suppression of the press. None of that is going on, even though that is the narrative that is being sold to the rest of us. So we just need to back off, particularly Richard Branson. Okay, and Peter Gabriel, my friend, please call me. I want to talk to you about this because it's very easy to be led down a garden path that ends in regime change. Do we really want Venezuela to turn into another Iraq or Syria or Libya? I don't, and neither do the Venezuelan people. All right, I'll stop. Until tomorrow.
Hola, Roger Waters. Estoy muy orgulloso de que tu voz, tu lucha, tu activismo político esté por las causas justas, por Palestina, por todas las causas antiimperialistas, por saharaui. Y en este momento en Venezuela también muy contentos estamos de que estés apoyando a Venezuela en estos momentos tan difíciles, donde hay una amenaza de guerra real en contra de Venezuela, una guerra por petróleo, por recursos más naturales y por aleccionar o dar lección a un país que ha decidido ser soberano e independiente y que se le ha parado enfrente al imperialismo, a Estados Unidos.
The corporate media has essentially been covering Venezuela with wall-to-wall pro-coup, pro-regime change propaganda. And this is nothing new, of course. We know that there's another side of the story that's been completely obfuscated from the elitist media circles, and that's essentially even includes some left media circles, unfortunately, as well. Look, we know that this has been coming ever since, of course, 1999, when Hugo Chavez was democratically elected in Venezuela. We know that the U.S. empire and its cronies and its regime change proxy fronts, the Organization of American States, the Lima Group, all of these entities have been pushing for undemocratic regime change efforts in Venezuela. So you can go to the 2002 coup, where they ousted Hugo Chavez at the barrel of a gun, tried to privatize the national resources. So they really revealed their hand then, and they haven't stopped since. I mean, we're talking about a leadership here that has a mass base of support. We're talking about 6.2 million people, Chavistas in the country, that went out last year to vote for Maduro. So, yeah, I mean, there are millions of people on the street, of course, protesting this, right? Asking for the ouster of Maduro. But you cannot ignore the millions of people also who are pro-Maduro, who are Chavista, who are building this base of the Bolivarian revolution, and they do not want to discard the gains, the widespread social gains that have been in place. Look, we're talking about a guy, Juan Guaido. 80% of the country doesn't know who this guy is. He just appointed himself president.
The U.S. media has created this lie that there is a shortage of goods in Venezuela and that the aid is actually something other than a humanitarian interventionist propaganda show. That lie is clear when you go around Caracas and go to any supermarket and you see that there are no shortages here, that the issue is speculation, hyperinflation, and the U.S. economic war, which makes this aid actually a drop in the bucket compared to the billions and billions of assets that the U.S. government is preventing the Venezuelan government from receiving.
Each time that the United States invades nations, launches missiles, or finances regime change, it does so behind a propaganda campaign which incessantly repeats the message that it is acting in the cause of justice, freedom, and democracy, in the cause of human rights or for humanitarian reasons. In no way is the United States interested in upholding democracy. If such were the case, it would not have financed coup d'etat and supported dictators. It would not have threatened with military intervention democratically elected governments, as it has done with Venezuela.
Donald Trump woke up, and he woke up with a big love for Venezuela, and he wants to help Venezuela. When did he ever wanted to help somebody in his life? Can somebody understand? Can you really believe that he loves Venezuela? What does he love about Venezuela? The oil, the gold, the diamonds, the gas. His eyes go round and big. He's trying to create a crisis for our country. He's looking for a way to provoke us and to threaten us militarily. You should be in charge of your own problems, mind your own business, be in charge of the 40 million that live in poverty.
Nicolas Maduro's regime, which is responsible for this crisis, is currently refusing to allow any humanitarian aid into the country.
Wrong again, Richard. First of all, the economic crisis is mainly because of the economic warfare being waged against the government of Venezuela, because greedy private interests want to get their hands on the oil industry.
We're looking at the oil assets. That's the single most important income stream to the government of Venezuela. It'll make a big difference to the United States economically if we could have American oil companies really invest in and produce the oil capabilities in Venezuela. It'd be good for the people of Venezuela. It'd be good for the people of the United States. We both have a lot at stake here, making this come out the right way.
And second, President Maduro is accepting humanitarian aid. He's only refusing politicized aid from the United States. He's currently accepting aid from the Red Cross and the UN, both of which slammed the politicized aid coming from the United States. Because we've seen this game before. It's a pretext for regime change. Please use the YouTube tools to share this video. Share the link to this video with everyone you can to get the word out. Hands off Venezuela. And please subscribe and click the bell. Even subscribing and clicking the bell helps. And also check out this video, the full version of this video from the Bolivian president, where he goes into detail about the wrongs of U.S. foreign policy. There's an annotation to this video around the end of this video or in the video description.